My name is Lariba. I'm here because something is bothering me, and I want to publicly announce for you to help me and also get answers to my problem. What happened was that when I was a child, I was staying with my mother and brother in the northern region of Ghana. Whenever my mother goes to the market, she comes back late, so when I usually come back from school, I meet everybody's absence, including my brother. There was this guy who was also living nearby our house, and it happened that my mom spoke to him that he should allow my brother and I to stay a while at his place until she, my mother, returns back from the market. So we stayed at his place for several times. But one day something unthinkable happened. This young man started fondling me and touching my breast to the extent of showing me adult movies on his mobile phone so that I would practice that act with him. So we kept on watching the adult movies together and finally did a follow-up, and this time we were having an affair, which included having sex. We used to do this all the time before my brother also returned home. My brother was so naive, he didn't have any idea what was going on. My mother was also not aware. The guy threatened me not to tell my mother or else I would die, and I was also afraid. This relationship with the young man continued till we moved to another area, but over there, sometimes when I'm there, something tells me to go and sleep with someone. Even when I sleep, I can't because the urge was too much. This feeling continued, but there was no one to do that with. So I came up with a plan to have my needs met. The plan was to go to my brother's room to seduce him, and it became a success, and gradually he began to like it, so we started having sex. We did it several times until I got pregnant because I didn't have any experience with sex. I didn't even realize I was pregnant. When my mother noticed I was pregnant, I was already 5 months gone, so she asked me how I knew all these things. It was there that I confessed that I was taught all these things by the guy she left us in his care. She was surprised, and she started shouting at me because she had no idea what was going on between that young man and me. My mother asked me why I didn't inform her, and I told her I was afraid because the guy scared me that I would die if I mentioned it to anyone. That's why I didn't tell her. But when we moved in here, I couldn't control myself because I was already addicted to the things he taught and showed me. I started sleeping with my brother, and pregnancy is the end product. My mother was shocked and lost in thought. She couldn't believe all that was happening. She realized the first guy wasn't responsible for the pregnancy because we had left there some months before the pregnancy came, so obviously, my brother is responsible. Upon that realization, my mother fainted. She told me it is taboo to sleep with your brother, therefore, I should pin down the pregnancy on the first guy at where we used to stay so that it won't be known to everybody that my brother has gotten me pregnant. So I agreed to it and told everybody exactly what my mom told me to say. They went to the guy's place and confronted him about the pregnancy, and he also agreed that indeed he has had sex with me before, so he accepts full responsibility for the pregnancy. The guy accepted it because they got him arrested, so he accepted the pregnancy out of fear. He took care of me till I gave birth, but when I gave birth, my mother wanted to take the baby so that I could go back to school, but I wasn't interested in school anymore despite the pressure from her. So I ran away from my mother's place, which is in the northern region, to Accra to look for a job. I was stranded because I knew nobody there. I met some load carriers in town who sleep outside, so they showed me where they sleep, and I had no choice but to join them. At night, some group of boys even come to sleep with us and steal our money. Even some of your friends around you can also steal your money. We literally do everything there, but we pay for where we take our bath because payment was involved, some could even go for some days without bathing, and feeding too was difficult because if you go to work and you don't get any money, you will sleep on an empty stomach. So one day I met a certain woman who is a bit wealthy. She came to the market to purchase some stuff, and I was the one carrying her load. She took my number and gave me hers also, so anytime she wants to come to the market, she calls me, and I talk to her and meet her. We eventually found ourselves doing business, so she asked me one day, why is it that fine girl like me and I am into this kind of work? I explained everything to her and how I got to Accra, and she told me she would come back again for us to have a proper talk because she is going to discuss it with her husband. She came back again and told me she has spoken with the husband, and he has agreed to let me come stay with them to help them with house chores, probably a house help because they don't have anyone to help them, and they also have only one child, but the child is not with them. I took the woman as my mother, so anytime she is returning from town, she buys me pants, underwear, clothes, and other stuff. She was treating me very well, so I was also happy in the house. But anytime she brings these things, she wants me to undress and wear the things in front of her, so this continued to the extent that sometimes she even comes to the bathroom when I'm bathing and dressing too. She is always there. It got to a time this woman was caressing and fondling me and wanted to have sex with me, so I wanted to just leave the house, but upon second thought I had nowhere to go unless I went back to the street, so because of the salary and accommodation I decided to stay back. They took me as their child, so they gave me one of their rooms in their house. It got to a time the woman's husband also started taking advantage of me while the woman was still also sleeping with me, so both of them were sleeping with me. They were running shift. When the man is not around, the woman comes to sleep with me, and when the woman is not also around, the man comes to sleep with me. So this continued till I got pregnant again, but the man didn't want the wife to know about it. He said I asked me to pin the pregnancy on the security man. The man gave the security man a huge sum of money for the security man to run away with it, so after the security man had gone, it was there that I told the man I was pregnant, so the woman asked me who was responsible, and I said it was the security man. She became furious because she said I had cheated on her. So the man told the woman that because I have been living with them for quite some time now and I have gotten pregnant, they can't allow me to go to the street again, so they should take care of me till I give birth and care for me as their child, and the woman agreed. So they took care of me in everything, hospital in and out, but still the man was sneaking into my room to sleep with me. After I gave birth, the man became sick and later passed away, but he didn't leave any will for my child because he didn't want the woman to find out the child actually belongs to him. We decided to name the child after the man because they took very good care of me. So when the man died, it appeared he had an elderly wife even before my madam and even had children with her, and those children were not really on good terms with my madam. They came to the house to demand their share of their father's properties. When they shared it, because they didn't know my child belongs to their father, they didn't give me anything, but rather the woman gave me some money to get a place for my baby to stay, but my child was always falling sick, so I used all the money on drugs and couldn't even get a place to rent, so I had no choice but to go back to the street. So that is where I'm currently staying with my child, but we have used the rest of the money because my baby is always falling sick, and now we find it very difficult to eat, and I don't even know whether to inform the woman that my child is actually for her late husband because we gave her no reason for her to suspect it. So please, I'm here to share with you and everybody so that you can help me.
If you enjoyed this story, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more captivating tales. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.